Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dan Lags. Welcome back, everybody. Week 5 of the NFL picks. Terrible week last week. I'm starting to give up, honestly, because I would do these picks and be totally okay with it if I actually was good at it and I could actually give you guys decent advice. But I feel like I'm just terrible at this. So it's like, what's the point? But we'll keep going. Maybe I can rebound this week, but just absolutely awful last week. Just terrible picks. We're not even going to talk about it. We're just going to start back up. I will say I am 1-0 this week. I did pick the Patriots, but they're starting to pick it up a little bit. I feel like they're going to start going on a roll. I don't see them losing anytime soon. But then again, they'll probably lose next week, now that I just said that. So first game up this week is the Titans and the Bills. This one's in Buffalo with the Titans favored by 5.5. Titans sneaky good at 1-3, and I feel like the Bills aren't as bad as people thought they were. They are who they thought they were. But yeah, I mean, this is already a tough game right off the bat with that 5.5 line. I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm actually going to pick the Bills just because of that line. I could see the Titans winning this game by 3 on the road, like scratching out a road win. And that's how I see it right now. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to start off with the Bills, the home team. Next up, we have the Dolphins and the Bengals, with the Bengals favored by 6. I'm going to go with the Bengals. The Dolphins got clobbered last week against New England. And they have to go right back on the road again in Cincinnati. So basically they had to fly from Miami to New England, back to Miami, all the way back up to Cincinnati. So they've had a little bit of a rough stretch here. I think the Dolphins are going to start coming back to earth a little bit. I think the Bengals will win that game. Bengals are also 3-1, pretty solid team. Next up, we have the Ravens and the Browns, with the Ravens favored by 3. To me, this is pretty easy. I'm going to pick the Ravens here. The Ravens are a good team. I don't know why this line is only 3. I would put it up at like 4.5 or 5. The Browns did score a lot of points last week, but they had a lot of turnovers, so that's why I'm going to go with the Ravens here. Next up, we have the Lions and the Packers, with the Lions favored by 1 at home. I'm going to go Green Bay. I picked them. I've been picking them recently, and they've been letting me down. Like last week, I picked them against, who did they play last week? I think they played the Bills last week, and they romped. So I didn't pick them last week. Then I picked them the week before. I can't get them right. So I'm just going to keep picking the Packers until I can get them right. I'm going to go with them this week. Green Bay Packers to beat the Lions on the road. Next up, we have one of the best games of the week, Jaguars and Chiefs. This is like a high-powered offense against a really good defense. Chiefs favored by 3 at home. I'm picking the Chiefs because they're at home. And I haven't seen anybody that could slow Patrick Mahomes down yet. Until I see him get stopped, I just can't predict that he's going to get stopped, even by a team as good as the Jaguars. This is a pass-happy league. I could see maybe like a PI call going here and there that might cost the game. Honestly, I'd rather pick a really good offense over a really good defense typically. We saw that with the Rams and the Vikings last Thursday. Next up, we have my Jets versus the Broncos, with the Jets favored by 1 at home. I'm picking the Jets. I know that I shouldn't be picking the Jets because they're awful, but I actually kind of like the Jets in this game. It's basically a pick'em game with the Jets favored by 1. If the Jets win this game, I get this one right. I just have a feeling that the Jets are gonna play well tomorrow. I don't know. Sometimes I can get a feeling from the Jets, just from watching them for so long. I kind of just get a feeling, and I feel like they're gonna play well tomorrow. And if they do drop tomorrow's game and go to 1-4, we might as well pack it in and start looking towards draft picks again. This is what I have to deal with every year as a Jet fan. How we're pretty much out of it by like less than halfway through the season. So we need this win tomorrow if we want to stay even remotely in the hunt at all. So this is pretty much a must win. I think they'll come out and win. Next up, we have the Falcons and the Steelers. Steelers favored by 3.5. Falcons are in a must win situation. I cannot believe the Falcons are 1-3. They've got to be the best 1-3 team ever. That is crazy. So I'm going to pick the Falcons. I just haven't really seen anything from the Steelers, to be honest. They've just been really laid an egg last week against the Ravens. I picked them too. So that was a shocking one for me personally when I saw that score. I expect a high-scoring game here, but I'm going to pick the Falcons to eke it out. Next up, we have the Giants and the Panthers. And the Panthers are favored by 6 at home against the Giants. The Giants are pretty bad. They're pretty bad. They got kind of beat up last week against the Saints. It's just so tough for me to pick the Giants, especially against a good team like the Panthers. But that line is high. Man, that's a tough one. If this was a little bit of a lower line, I would say Giants for sure. Or I would say Panthers for sure. But, I'm still going to go with the Panthers. I can see them winning that game by a touchdown. But that's one I don't feel great about, to be honest. The Giants seem to me like they're really hit and miss. Like they could potentially play well, but because they have the weapons that they do, it's just their offensive line is just really the key. Can they hold up? And I don't think they're going to be able to. Next up, we have the Chargers and the Raiders. This is a little California matchup here in divisional rivals here. Chargers favored by 5.5. I'm picking the Chargers. I like the Chargers, honestly. I know they're 2-2. They got a nice win last week against the Niners, against the injured Niners. But I think the Chargers will keep it rolling here. They'll pick up a win against the Raiders and cover that spread. Next up, we have the Eagles and Vikings rematch of last year's NFC Championship game with the Eagles favored by 3 at home. Vikings are sneaky average. At first, I've said this at the beginning of the season. I thought the Vikings were going to be like a Super Bowl contending team, top of the league, and they're really not that good. Their defense is pretty bad, and their offense is so one-dimensional. They've been throwing the ball way too much. They got to start working in the run game a little bit more. With that being said, I'm going to pick the Eagles here. Eagles had a bad loss last week to the Titans in overtime. I think they'll bounce back at home. Philly's going to be fired up to watch this game. And I think that the Eagles are going to be able to pull this one out. Carson Wentz. I have a lot of faith in Carson Wentz that he's going to start getting rolling here. Next up, we have, this is just a brutal game. Niners versus Cardinals. With Jimmy G's injury, these might be the 2 worst teams in the NFL right here. This is a brutal game. I'm going to pick the Cardinals. I don't know why. I'm just going to pick them. I don't really have anything for this game. The Niners are so beat up, it's tough for me to pick them. I'm taking the Cardinals to get their first win of the year. Next up, we have the Rams and Seahawks. So we have 2 straight games, NFC West matchups here. This, I would love to see the 2013 Seahawks go up against the 2018 Rams offense. That old Legion of Boom defense, but that's kind of over now. Earl Thomas is injured. I'm picking the Rams here. The Rams seem to be unstoppable. I don't see any reason why they would slow down against the Seahawks. I expect them to win that game by double digits. The Rams are really good. Next up, we have the Texans and the Cowboys, with the Texans favored by 3.5 at home. I feel like this is going to be a weird game. I don't know. That these two teams, both of these teams to me seem kind of bad to average at best. So it's tough for me. Like, they seem pretty even. So it's tough for me to say, especially with the line of 3.5. I'm going to go with the Cowboys just because that line's a little high. I could see the Texans winning this game by 3. I could see the Cowboys winning. It's a primetime game. I could see Ezekiel Elliott having a big game and getting the Cowboys a win. So I'm going to pick the Cowboys here in the Sunday night football game. Texas battle. Lone Star State showdown. All right, finally, last game of the week, we have Monday Night Football, Saints and Redskins. Saints favored by 6 at home. I'm picking the Saints. I just like the Saints at home. In the Dome, Drew Brees is really killer. So I like the Saints here with this pick. Redskins are good, but I think the Saints can win this game by a touchdown. And then we have the Bears and the Buccaneers on the bye week. So that's going to wrap up my picks for Week 5, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm actually feeling fairly good about this week's picks. With that being said, I'm probably only going to get like 3 right. And if I just keep on having these like brutal weeks where like I am not picking any of them correctly, I might just have to stop just for the fact that I'm giving people bad information. So anyway, guys, if you like the picks, go ahead and drop a like, and I will see you guys next week with Week 6. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.